All right. I guess it's enough then. All right. So let's start the session, ma'am. Then let me first of all thanks to you for taking time for this session. And good evening, good afternoon all. Sorry, हमारे sessions good evening में होते हैं, so that's why. So good afternoon all. Thank you so much for joining. So, as discussed, as I sent message that with us right now is Shiksha Mishra. She's currently associated with the FARD network. And FARD network, as you all know, it's an alternative investment fund managing more than 300 plus crore funds. And she's managing all the startup investments, corporate investments, and how can the startup can grow and raise funds. So she has tremendous experience in this industry, more than 5 to 6 years. She's helping lots and lots of startups as well as ideas from the scratch to grow and raise funds. She's helping with the pitch decks. She's helping with the all the financials and everything. So those who want to start their own ventures and those who want to start their career in the financial analysis, investment banking, startup ecosystem, then she's the one of the best person to explain you about the industry and as well as to help you to grow in your career, right? So thank you so much, Siksha ma'am, for joining, and please, stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Abhi sir. Thanks for mentioning about me, and you know a lot more than me. You have been there in this industry as well, doing your own startup. So definitely, but yeah, I'll just start with my introduction and basically how I'll actually start with how I actually started and came into this industry. I hope I'm audible clearly. I guess.
Yes, yes, perfect, perfectly. Yeah.
So before entering into AY, I started my career in the year 2018, 2019 itself, wherein I was a mass comm student. I graduated from mass media, and then I have started my own career in media itself. That is, I worked with Z News, Amar Ujala. I was doing content writing there. I did on ground reporting as well there, so it was fun working in there, but COVID hit in the year 21, and it was like I had to shift from that. So I, along with my sister Abha, we both started our own venture, that is AY Ventures, which states always young venture basically. So with that, we started helping startups in a very early stage in terms of helping them in fundraising basically. So our motive was to help mostly early stage companies in raising funds. So we were definitely helping them in making documents, then pitch deck, business plan, whatever is needed. Obviously, I had a deep insight about the industry from my sister, as well as I did a deep research in the startup ecosystem before I entered in this. Obviously, I don't have a background in that, but I did a very deep research in that year itself. I had been in touch with multiple incubation centers too, wherein I was trying to understand how they perform, how they are actually working with startups, what is the basic criteria they work on. Then we started AY Ventures together. It's been 5 years that I was a founder there. We both were running that company. We had our own platform via which we were helping startups, raising funds via incubators, family offices, HNIs. I used to interact with multiple investors at a time in order to understand their thesis, basically in what stage or type of startups they invest in. And then further on, due to some family issues, I had to take a leave from AY. So we came into, I entered FARD network. Obviously, I was connected with FARD network way before long, because we were trying to connect with every investor, every startups possible, because see, 2021 was a wave of startups, and then when we started with our own platform, we wanted ki we should try to connect with maximum startups. We should be a one platform solution for all the startups, all the investors coming up on the platform. So my basic thing was I should do networking. The the strong networking which we wanted to do in our company was the result that I'm trying to connect with many people around. So with that, I entered FAR network. FAR is basically having three verticals in itself. So FAR, I'll tell you about FAR as well. So FAR has the very first vertical of FAR is basically AIF Category 1 fund, wherein the typical ticket size for early stage startups would be around 100K to 500K, wherein we have been investing mostly in sector agnostic companies and very early stage startups itself. Then the second fund which we have is Byte Capital. In Byte Capital, our co-founders are also partner in it. So we are investing mostly into deep tech or AI related funds, AI related startups. And the typical ticket size for that is around 1 million or so. And our third vertical is FCAPS, by which I'm also leading this department. And because I have FCAPS is basically a advisory vertical via which we are helping startups in raising funds and going so basic motive was to establish network with most of the early stage companies in India, so that we can try to help them out how to raise funds, how to reach out investors, how to work on documentations, and then further even helping them in funding as well. So with that, we came up with FCAPS. So FCAPS again is an advisory vertical which helps early stage companies in funding, and we help them in documentations. Then we help them in connections. We do demo days with our investors with the company. Then we are even doing investor roundtables with the founders so that we can help these early stage companies grow themselves. So yeah, that's a brief on how we have been working so far. Over to you, Sufi sir, how you want to take this forward.
Okay, sure, sure. Thank you so much, and amazing to know about, especially with the AY. And AY is, if I'm not wrong, it's always young, right?
Yeah, it's always
Okay,
young.
that's great. Okay, that's great. So, Always Young is the venture capital in which you help startups
Yes,
to raise funds, and especially the how they can start their journey, right?
right.
Because for every startup, what I understand as far as my journey, that we only have idea. We don't know about the compliance, right? How to create a pitch deck, how to create the
Right,
due diligence, what are the things going to be follow, registrations if you are in the fintech or some regulated sector. So how to get certifications and other
right.
things. So this is what the basic, the understanding for the AY as well as this FCAPS. You will help.
Because at that
Uh,
moment when we started with this, there was no information about this. Like startups were just coming up, but obviously there was no industry was catering on these services. So it was like a new thing for every one of them to understand this.
yeah.
These documents are needed, how to reach out to investor. Everything is new for any startup who is starting their business.
Correct. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. So, if we can start with the Q&A and take questions from the interns, if you allow.
Sure, sure, sure.
All right. Okay. So let me one by one name, and you just please unmute yourself on your camera, and then you can start. So let's start with Purvi. Purvi girl, and she wanted to ask something about the skill and knowledge. So Purvi, please, you can unmute and start asking.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir.
Good
Good afternoon.
afternoon.
Good. Yeah.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity for asking my doubt and questions. So,
Yes.
ma'am, my question was which educational qualification and skills are required for standing out in financial financial industry and this sector?
So basically, means I don't think so. Any qualification is needed if you want to start a company of yours. Uh,
Okay.
but
Purvi, mute yourself. Purvi, I request you to, if you can please mute yourself. Yes, yes, please. Yeah, thank you. Yes,
yeah.
ma'am.
So basically, if you are from a BBA background, or if you do a normal BBA or BA as well, that is also fine, because if you want to enter into this industry, as I said, networking is something which is very important to be. And if you start doing networking, like start connecting with people, make your LinkedIn very strong enough to reach out to people. I feel that is more than sufficient in order to get into this industry. Obviously, you should have a financial background. For that, if you are pursuing BA or BBA or BCom, that is sufficient to know a basic level of information on how this industry works, definitely. But to get into this industry and have a practical knowledge rather than just a theoretical experience from colleges and institutes, I would definitely suggest that do internships in here, and l- basically start your own business if possible, in order to understand it more practically.
Okay, ma'am, I got it. Means practical knowledge and practical exposure is more important
Exactly.
than financial, than education.
Right.
Skills are more required.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. All the
Thank you.
best.
Thank you so much, Purvi. So I'm just want to add one more addition to this. It's basically the opposite of this, that if someone from the non-finance or management background, non-finance means they are not from the economics background, accounts, or commerce background. So how they can be into this industry as a investment analyst, research analyst, financial analyst. Basically, those who have some technical backgrounds, like let's say coding,
Mhm.
BTech, MTech background, or let's say pharma is the one industry, and they now they did their B Pharma or maybe related courses, and now they wanted to explore opportunities in the investment industry. How they can start?
So basically, it's see, I am also belonging from a non-technical, non-financial background itself. I did my mass comm. I did my graduation in mass comm, and then I started with AY Ventures altogether. So it's like I did not belong to this industry anytime, but it's like it's all about knowledge and uh, the experience which you're getting from the thing which you're doing. Like I started itself like with AY Ventures, and I started exploring. I did a deep research. Basically, I tried to understand how this industry works. So basically, knowledge is actually power, wherein you try to grasp knowledge from different people around. You try to understand how this industry is working, how you can actually talk to different people, try to talk actually to different people in order to understand how you would be able to understand the industrial jargons, and basically then be able to help out, like obviously to take this ahead as a career, or in fact if you want to start your own startup too.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So let me ask a quick question to all the audience, those who joined. How many of you are from non-finance, non-economics, and non-accounts background? Please raise your hand. Please raise your hand, those who are from the non-finance or non-accounts background. Please. So again, then we have perfect example from the non-finance
Mhm.
background. Now she is, uh, leading the department for FCAPS for raising funds and helping startups, right?
So to help you
So
guys, I have also raised, because I am also from a non-technical.
right, right. So again, so this is something that you need to learn before jump into any specific, industry. Just
Right.
understand the basics. What I understand, as far so far the conversation we had, that key understand the basics of the industry. do some research, and then you can start with the industry.
Right.
Okay, perfect. All of you can lower your hand. So now let's start with the next question. Mohammad Arshad. So although Mohammad Arshad actually asking 7 to 8 questions, so I would request Mohammad Arshad to please ask at least 1 or 2 questions. And he want to start his own venture. And yes, Mohammad Arshad, please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Hi, ma'am.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for this opportunity, sir. So I will make it quick, sir. So
Sure.
just one question. So, ma'am, my main question is, so what's from your experience at for working with FCAP? So what is the biggest mistake you see as a founder while approaching the investor for first time?
See, as a investor, like if I'm not about if I'm not aware about my own company, like in terms of financials or in terms of operations, probably that could be the bigger mistake which I'm doing and reaching out investors. Secondly, if I'm reaching out any investor without any good traction or good, business financial growth, probably that is something which investors would not entertain much at the very initial stage which we have experienced so far. So that is something which I would like to avoid. Obviously, I should be very clear with my numbers, with my traction, with my growth, with my strategy ahead in order to reach out to any investors further. Because investor is also trusting you, and then they are coming to you for funding. Basically, ultimate goal is for taking their funds and utilizing that for your growth, for the growth of the startup. So basically, you should be very clear with the motive on how you are going to reach out to any investor and how strong you can build it in within 5 to 10 years. If you're clear with that, probably there are higher chances that you might get funded and stuff.
So okay, ma'am. Thank you for it, ma'am.
Mohammad Arshad, you can also ask one follow-up question.
Okay.
Because you had already. So please go ahead.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So, ma'am,
Yes.
Mohammad Arshad, we are not able to hear you if you're speaking.
hello.
Is your second question silence, Mohammad Arshad?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, we
Yes,
can hear
yes.
you.
Yes,
Sorry,
we can hear you.
Sorry, sir.
No worries. Please go ahead.
So actually, my question is, second question is, how do you actually decide whether a startup should be going for a equity or a debt basis?
So equity you can only go when you have, see, equity is something which you should go in starting in the initial stage of your funding round, wherein I don't think so a company should start itself via debt, because debt is basically a loan which you're taking from investor or any other institution, which will not lead you further in terms of growth. So basically, you should go ahead with equity round only, equity funding only, wherein the investor is obviously there would be certain terms and conditions put by the investors, that there are other instruments as well via which they are investing, that is CCPS, CCD, or in fact they put it in as safe notes. But basically, if you are starting the business, I guess equities, CCPS or CCD is something which I would suggest that every company should start with, rather than debt or taking loan from bank.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you for it, ma'am.
All right. So now let's move on to, and let me add one more point here, that key, apart from debt as well as equity, one more option is there, is the grants. So, Shiksha ma'am, if you can share some, highlight about
Sure,
what
sure.
exactly
I'll
the
do that.
grant is. Yeah.
So grants, basically, I'll just tell you firstly that how it functions before moving ahead. So government of India has actually started with this process of grant in 2016. It has actually started with, wherein we are even celebrating the National Startup Day. So 1st January 20. So basically, grants has been the biggest option for all Indian startups, which is available for all early stage companies possible. अगर आप अपना business शुरू कर रहे हो and you are willing to take money, firstly take money from government, because government is freely willing to give you that money and they are not even charging you any equity for that. So, Government of India started this in the year 2016, wherein they started with the AIM, Atal Innovation Mission, and under that department, this DPIIT certificate, DPIIT was established, by which they were giving, they were establishing different incubation centers in different colleges, institutes, then government agencies. So there are multiple AICs, Atal Incubation Centers. These are the incubation centers which is established by the government. Incubation centers को establish करने का मतलब ही ये था कि they can help startups at a very early stage in terms of mentoring, in terms of client support, in terms of growth, in terms of technical support, or in terms of funding. So government of India, what they did is they passed a tender of around, मान लीजिए 1 crore का, or sorry 10 crore का, and they said कि I'll give these AIC centers like 1 crore each, and I'll tell them to send this money to all the startups basically. So basic idea was to invest in startups so that we can have more of a job providers than the job seekers in India. So the reason why grant system was established, these institutions, or आप जिस भी college में होगे अभी, probably there would be some or the other incubation centers there. If it's not there, then probably government could establish that, because government का major motive is to establish multiple incubation centers in different schools and colleges, so that every colleges or schools would have this center to help their startups, help their students basically to start their own company, and help them in funding, help them in mentoring, guiding, taking it ahead further. So typical grant size for these institutes would be around from 10 lakhs to 1 crore, and every institute definitely chooses their own student before they choose any other candidates for funding, definitely. But there are multiple grants available for early stage companies, and I always say this, that I've also told Subir sir for this, that whenever you are starting a company, please choose grant before any sort of a funding you're choosing for from other sources, that is investor का पैसा ले रहे हैं या फिर debt ले रहे हो. It's better to choose a grant because it's a free money available for startups for your stage of companies. So why not choosing that? So yeah. अब grant कैसे form करता है वो I can explain you further if anyone of you wants to know on that.
Sure, definitely. But before we start with this, let me ask again the question to the audience, that how many of you planning or wanted to start their own ideas or ventures? Please raise your hand.
There are many.
And of course, I'm going to tell you about very interesting fact about the grant. And please raise your hand. How many of you planning to start your own venture, and you have an idea, and you want to push maybe by next 6 months or by 1 year? Okay, so many of you. So yes, Shiksha ma'am, if you can please share how this process works.
So basically, when you have established your company, you need to register your company. It can be LLP, it can be OPC, it can be private limited, anything, or it can be a partnership firm. Basically, if you have established your company and registered your company, you will get a DPIIT certificate. And if you have not got the DPIIT certificate, apply for DPIIT certificate. Once you have received the DPIIT certificate, you will be asked for certain other documents. So you can simply go for applying for grants. So how you can do that is you should have certain documents in hand, that is pitch deck, business plan, the DPIIT certificate. These are the major three documents which is normally required for applying to any grants. Then once you have all these documents in hand, obviously there are different applications coming from government in itself. If you'll just open Startup India portal, you'll get multiple grants available for different sectors. Every grant institutes have their own thesis. So they chooses startups as per the sector, as per the ticket size they have, and as per the industry experience. So for example, if you are into climate sector, if you're planning something into climate, or if you're planning something into B2B, SaaS, or health, anything, so you can choose specific sectors of grant which is available. It's everything is available online. You have to just be specific regarding that and start applying in it. Obviously, it's a cumbersome process wherein you have to apply manually for everything. There are certain questions which you would not even understand, but try to Google that or take an expert opinion on that, that what you should do in there. But start applying in these institutes. Once you start applying, you will definitely get a reward from these institutes via 1 to 2 in within 1 to 2 weeks or maximum 1 month, because government institutes do take their own time in order to analyze or do deep diligence on that. So if you are and if you have any contacts like for any of the AIC centers or any of the incubation centers, it becomes more easy and feasible for you to apply in that. So for example, when I was applying for my own company, AY Ventures, I had multiple contacts in incubation centers. So it was actually easy for me to apply through their application, because I was already aware about the process, how it happens. I had to just, so there are majorly 3 to 4 grants from government end which is available. Private में तो बहुत सारे grants available हैं, but government में there are certain grants like SISFS, Startup India Seed Fund Scheme, then Nidhi Prayas, Nidhi Triple S. These are all the grants which is available for startups, and then the ticket size is usually around ticket size by ticket size I mean the investment amount which they are gonna put it in your amount in your account. It would be around 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 30 lakhs. Maximum it goes to up to around 1 crore. So, and see, it's like a 1 crore amount which you're getting freely from the government end, and you don't have to do anything, just apply in their process. So it's that simple. So basically, once you apply in that, you get to know within 1 month or so what is the feedback from their end, or you can even do follow up via their mail ID, or their contact details are already there written on their websites. So you can go there as well and try to take a feedback from them from there. So that is the whole process basically.
Sure, sure. Yes, it's very interesting to, of course, if you have an idea, just, of course, my also recommendation to go ahead with the grants. Let me tell you one more thing that I, experienced with by associating it with the FART Capital, that whatever the FART Capital or the incubation center you are going to associate with, they also going to give you some credits for infrastructure part. Let's say AWS credits or maybe Microsoft
Yeah.
credits.
Obviously,
So,
these are the
yes.
so there are certain basic credits which we more than credits, we are even providing networking with our investors as well. That is also there. You can actually network and know more on your industry, that what all you can do to improve your product or improve your company structure basically.
Correct, definitely. So we also, since 2022 till now, 2025, 26, we also received so many grants. So again, let me tell you, we have not raised any equity fundraising. We are on grants. And these grants are from the Europe, South Asian countries like Singapore, Vietnam, as well as few other countries we raised, as well as we received credits, and these credits are more than $200,000, and these are include AWS, Microsoft, as well as Nvidia. So I guess many of you already know that we also launched our own analyst language model. The credit for GPUs, it's currently provided by the Nvidia. So if you have an idea, if your idea is very good, then the companies are there to help you with the funds as well as the credits, right? So don't hesitate. Start your venture, of course. Get the right person for your due diligence, for your pitch decks, for your fundraising things, right? Then things are very amazing for you. And please trust me, for India, this startup culture is just started, right? It's just started. It's not key. It's an end of story. It's just started, right?
Exactly.
So please go ahead and start your own venture. If you have an idea, get experts on your board, get the right person for the fundraising or the pitch decks or creating the documentations, and the things are going to be very smooth for you, right? So all right, so let's move on to the next question then. Just hold on. Okay, so if Vibhor is here, Vibhor, you can please unmute and on your camera you can ask. Vibhor Agarwal.
Yes, good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for the opportunity. Small intro, ma'am. I am pursuing MBA in Finance and Business Analytics. So I want to ask for all those who like when you hire an MBA, what specific traits or mindset do you look for? So later they tell that the person going to be highly successful.
See, basically, we are looking for experience before, honestly. We don't look for more than the background which you are having. Maybe you're doing MBA, and that is very good. But more than that, any industry or any corporate would want you to have good experience in whatever you're doing, right? Maybe in terms of finance, maybe in terms of any other segment you're catering. Just the experience is something which matters. Just the knowledge which you have is matters, because knowledge is only the thing which we would be needing it further, and that would only help us grow our business altogether. So any corporate offices or anyone would want you to have basic information of what exactly you're doing. That would only help you succeed further.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Thank you so much, Vibhor. So now let's quickly move on to the next one. Prakul Soni, if you can please. Sorry, no, not Prakul. Just hold on. Kartikeya Bajaj. Kartikeya,
Yes,
if you can please.
Yes.
Good evening. Good evening. Yes, please. Yep.
Yeah. Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma'am. Thank you for this session, and it was really inspiring to hear about your journey, ma'am. So basically, ma'am, could you please walk us through your typical day, or what does your week or your role looks like?
Uh,
With
so basically, good good to hear that though. But it's like a typical corporate thing only, wherein, but it's something which I'm enjoying a lot. Honestly, this is something which I wanted, and I wanted to help early stage companies. So uh, I always enjoy my work. I'm a workaholic basically, so I love doing whatever I am doing. Then only I am supposed to enter that field. So this is I get up early in the morning, then go leave for office. But earlier as well in AY Ventures, when I was having my own company, I used to do the same thing. I used to get up early, go to office, spend the whole day in office. Now that I'm married, so I have to spend time with my family as well. But I just love talking to people. So mostly my day goes mostly in networking with almost everyone. It's founders, maybe investors, maybe my own team. So it's like that only, that I keep running myself that way, that I have to do something productive the whole day. So it's for me because I like working. I don't know about you guys, but I would suggest at this early stage, when you are starting and when you're looking to maybe have your build your own company, or maybe reach like in fact getting into this industry even, it's better that you start working on yourself, brush your knowledge basically, and get into this thing, get a practical knowledge rather than theoretical knowledge. I would suggest that do internships maximum, or try to get job in this field in order to understand this in detail, and then start with your own company. Or start with your own company, try to talk to different people, do networking a lot, go to events. There are multiple events happening from government end as well, try to attend that as well, so that you'll get to know how people are actually establishing their own companies, how what difficulties they are facing while they are establishing their own company.
I have another question.
Yeah.
So basically, which sectors do you think are currently attracting the strongest investor interest?
See, basically, majorly, which I have seen so far from the day I started till now, because every time the sectors keep changing, but it's basically AI right now, which we are also targeting AI sectors, deep tech sectors more. Obviously, financials or fintech sector is always in the segment, and it's never like it's never losing its own way. Plus, if we talk about B2B SaaS or any climate related companies also are actually taking much of interest from investors. And then yeah, this is consumer is something which is common. Mostly you can't do D2C is something which is very common, everyone is doing. There are multiple brands coming up nowadays in India, so not much of interest in that segment. But obviously there are different funds which is working particularly for D2C or the B2B space, so you can definitely reach out to them. But because we are quite sector agnostic, we look for every sector. Nowadays we are investing mostly into consumer only, but we are quite open for deep tech and AI companies, because these are the boom right now, booming. These are the booming sectors which I feel every investors are looking for.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Karthik, for asking. And
So I guess you're mute.
sorry, I'm really sorry. Thank you so much, Karthik, for asking this. And let me now let's quickly move on to the Prabhul Soni. If you can please ask.
Greeting, sir. Greeting, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, my the geopolitical tensions, recession, while forecasting their financials.
Prabhul, I'm sorry to interrupt. If you can restart, because your voice was not audible.
Okay, like ma'am, I'm saying that like you work with various ventures.
Yeah.
So do companies also consider things like geopolitical tensions or outlier things like COVID-19 while calculating their forecast or while forecasting their financials?
Yeah, definitely. It actually impacts a lot while you are, making your business, because COVID may, how many businesses were impacted. Most of the offline businesses which were being shut down because of that, like because we were dependent on so many things. And still, if you do a offline business now, and if you don't consider all this, maybe like a war situation or this, probably it's going to impact you further. मान लीजिए कल को जाके if something happens in India, like war situation comes up, या फिर again COVID hits, then you need to be very considerate while you are choosing which path you should take for establishing your business in here. So yeah, it does matters. Finance, everything it affects.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prabhul. Thank you so much, Prabhul. Let's move on to the next question then. Aryan Tiwari, if you can please. Aryan Tiwari, if you are here.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you're audible. Please go ahead.
Hi guys. So my question is, basically, is there any major red flag that you see in a company in a potential investment that makes you go like, नहीं इसमें तो invest नहीं करना है, something like that
See,
that you
देखिए,
observe
there are
any
so
pattern?
many things that there are actually so many things, Aryan, which we look at while we are making our own decision for investing. Firstly, if we have not, if the means if we have not invested in a competitive segment itself, like if, for example, if we have if we invested in Blue Wheels, and if we are investing again into mobility in the similar segment, then it becomes a problem for us. Then it should the traction is something which matters to us a lot. Well, because we are talking to our LPs most of the time, and if the LPs are not agreeing to it at the initial stage, then it becomes difficult. Then the growth level which we normally see while so we normally see if the company is able to go to IPO or not. In terms of that also, we make our decision while we are investing. So we not only think from a shorter perspective कि आज हमने इन्वेस्ट कर दिया एंड कल को जाकर ये हमें इतना इंटरेस्ट दे देगी एंड विल एग्जिट. इट्स नॉट दैट वे. It's a very long term perspective which we think in terms of investment while we are investing in any of the company, that this company will give us at least not 10x like 5x 3x ka growth, but more of 15x 16x 20x ka growth. So it's a long term perspective. If we are investing in a very early stage company, we do think that we should take it till IPO, and from that perspective only we are investing in any of the companies. Obviously we have to be very considerate while we are investing in a company, because our it's not only us, it's even about the investors, because ultimately it's their money, and we have to be very choosy while we are investing in the company, because ultimately they ask us that whether they are gonna get the return in this or not. So yeah,
Right.
AIF works in a very different structure in itself.
So any of your portfolio companies has successfully IPO'd so far?
Blue Whale is about to get into it. Obviously, there are multiple other companies. We have got who is doing good. We are trying to invest in Yoho right now, which is a good company for us. It's a sneaker brand. So yeah, definitely, we are getting good exits now. We have taken exit from around 25 companies so far. We have invested in around 130 companies overall.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Just hold on, Aryan. I guess you suddenly आपने पाला change कर दिया, because your question was that
हाँ, it
for
was
someone
different.
who has यार मतलब बीच में ही धोखा दे दिया यार आपने. मैं तो सोचा कि
नहीं,
आपका question
actually वो already मैम ने आंसर कर दिया था from अलग-अलग questions काफी लोगों ने पूछा था वो, so I thought कुछ और पूछूं.
so you improvised that, right? That's good.
You can say that.
Okay, that's
Thank
good.
you.
So let me ask this. Let me tell you this, that the question was for someone who has not graduated from top college. How would you advise to crack VC role for them?
Oh,
This is what
I
he was.
guess we have almost every employee of ours who are from a non-top college only. I would to answer your question. So it's nothing that we are choosing any top colleges or MBA people only in our institute, in our organization, and not only mine. If you look at other VC funds as well, okay, there are multiple VC funds. Obviously, they choose people who are at a higher pedigree degree. But basically, once we are choosing any candidate, we are not going on their background. Mostly, we are even going on what sort of a knowledge they have while we are interviewing any candidate. So we are very specific regarding that only. If I am giving you this task, will it be possible for you to do it do it tomorrow or not? I'm just concerned with that. I'm not concerned what is your background. I'm not concerned what colleges you're coming from. I'm just concerned with how much knowledge you have. And I feel
But the thing
when
is,
I was doing hiring in my company as well, I was doing the same thing. I'm actually not concerned with the college or institute. I'm more concerned with the background or the knowledge you have in the field, because that's the only thing which is going to impact me. Yeah, sorry, you were saying something.
I was just saying कि I personally have observed कि a lot of JDs for VC roles, analyst levels, they mention कि a tier one MBA, CA. So
That is
that
there.
is,
I'm not saying कि it's
hmm
not happening. I am just saying that my organization or with people whom I'm working is working like that. So obviously there are certain VC funds who require such deep knowledge, but it's like when we are choosing, I am just talking about my organization or the field wherein if you have to start your career with, you can start with a IB form as well, wherein they choose normal people, they choose normal candidates, and they try to give you a basic insight about how this industry is working. And then further, you can definitely pursue CAT and take it further, go into good IIMs, IITs, and then take a decision further.
Correct.
Okay.
And Arjan, let me add one point here for your question, because again it's a very common question and asked by many interns as well as those who want to start their career. I'm giving you a two option, right? One candidate with non-top background, let's say he did his graduation from Open or School of Open Delhi University, right? But during his graduation time, he gained 2 years experience in internship for preparing financials, preparing so and so things required for to raise funds and other things. And the second scenario is that one candidate from the top college, right, without any experience of the internship, right? So who will you choose?
I guess that depends upon the interview. But the first guy gives a better impression. Yes.
See, it's not, of course, it depends on interview. And interview, of course, there are various parameters. Because every interviewer, every VC firm, it's not about VC firm or any firm, they only care about the experience, whether you at least had any knowledge, right? For why I'm giving you this example, that I know some persons, those who are from the very lower colleges. I don't want to name them, but yes, very low colleges, but they gained experience during their graduations, right? Now they're working with some VCs. So it's not about कि आप बहुत बड़ी IIT से हो या बहुत बड़े colleges से हो, then you're going to get. Because वहाँ पे भी लोग ये देखते हैं that कि if you had some knowledge, let's say you are from the you are from the non-top college, right? Basic college, but you managed to raise at least 3 to 5 startups to raise funds. So VC आपको क्यों नहीं उठाएगा फिर? राइट ना. सो ये अपने दिमाग से उतार दो कि मेरा बहुत बड़ा कॉलेज है एंड यू ऑल्सो स्टार्टेड ब्लेमिंग योर कॉलेजेस कि यार हमारा कॉलेज ही बड़ा बेकार है, वो कहीं प्लेसमेंट नहीं देता. यार वो कहाँ प्लेसमेंट देगा अगर आप फ्रॉम योर सेकेंड ईयर ऑनवर्ड्स और फ्रॉम योर फोर्थ सेमेस्टर ऑनवर्ड्स स्टार्ट डूइंग इंटर्नशिप्स इन एनी कंपनी बिफोर डूइंग MBA.
Exactly.
राइट ना. आप लोग जब कॉलेज खत्म हो जाता है उसके बाद इंटर्नशिप ढूंढने जाते हो, कोई नहीं पूछने वाला उसके बाद. राइट. सो हो गया, मेरा ज्ञान हो गया बहुत. नाउ लेट्स क्विकली मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट वन. Jatin Sahu, please quickly if you can start with, if you are here. Okay, so now let's move on to Sanchit. Sanchit, if you can ask, please. Sanchit Gaikwad. Sanchit, I guess you also asked this in chat, right? You are the same Sanchit, na? No, you're not audible, Sanchit. If you can please. Hello.
Now, sir?
Yes, now it's good.
Yeah. So my question regarding to the both you and ma'am, sir. So basically, I wanted to know about the grants part. So as well as the venture capital part. So what is happening right now that I am specifically looking for the grant known as Research Development Investment Fund, which is started by Government of India. So though I just give a brief introduction of the grant which I am looking right now. So what is the grant saying about is that if someone if the startup is there and he wanted to do a research part, and the startup has to be technology readiness up to 4 or 5 level. That is when the proof of concept should be completed and proof of validity should be initiated by them. And for that purpose, their government is giving grant on basis of the equity base as well as debt base. So they are so what they are doing that they are giving grants up to 50 years. So they have taken grant from Anusudan, the Anusudan scheme, which is the Government of India scheme. From that they are taking the grant up to 50 years, and they are distributing grant to AIFs, and AIFs are distributing grant to further startup they want. So they have submitted. They are also AIF are the one who are controlling this part. So I want to know that AIF has got the committee on them. This is an investment committee, which is they evaluate the part of the startup, and then they further provide the grant. So I want to know that how do AIF evaluate the grants, and what are the parameters they decide that what should be the IRR for the part, what is the money multiples of the parts, and what are the else parameters will be given.
Are
And
you
also
sure
I-
it is AIF or
Yeah,
AICs you're saying?
No, it's the AIF. So I basically tell you how the flow goes for that purpose. So basically, there is a technological development board which further distribute grant to AIFs and decide the grant, allocate the grant to AIFs, and AIF are the ones who are distributing grants to startups. So they have this set up the committee on an investment committee. If you want, I can share the PDF also. I have highlighted all the part which they are.
Let me add into this that the RFID, RDIF and the investment fund you are talking now. Actually, it is currently headed by Mr. Abhay Karandikar sir.
Yes.
And Abhay Karandikar sir is the ex-director of IIT Kanpur.
IIT Kanpur.
So yes, so I'm personally in touch with Mr. Abhay Karandikar sir as well as team for this fund. This is basically, again, it's a approximately 20,000 crore fund.
Yeah.
Right. This is going to be collaboratively giving to these startups. Basically, currently they are focusing on deep tech as well as quantum computing, correct? As well as some defense related projects, right?
Yeah.
So how this structure is going to be, the companies, the government will give the grant to the selected AIFs, and they're going to distribute this fund. Right. So this is how this works, and it's not just only equity based; it's debt based also.
Debt based also. NBFC also participating there, sir.
Correct. And the fund starts from 10 crores onwards, so it's not a small fund.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
So
sir.
if you have, yeah, please.
So I'll just tell you about my background first and what a startup I'm focusing or how we are working on. So I have completed my MBA from IIM Shillong. Post that I have been working as startup is a basic startup. What can I say? Researching on the deep tech part. That is what a deep tech. What we are solving right now is a survey problem. That is a linear asset problem. So what the linear asset management means that there is if we do a road survey. So road surveying happening basically on mostly India in manual basis. So what does happen? The bottleneck is forming that if supposedly we want to survey a road or maintain a road, so for that purpose we are blocking a road for 3 to 5 days. So we have developed a vehicle, it is not a network survey vehicle, which survey the road on 1 or 2 hours with 100 km/h per speed basis, and they have a network and they have a IP address known as we have generated IP, which is known as laser vision, where we can survey the tracks as well as pot as well as the linear assets which are there lay on the road. So for that purpose, we are targeting this grant, the RDIF grant, because we think that we can do a more research part. We can develop a IoT part also on that, and we can get a grant from that. And also we are targeting on Singapore basis. So that's why when you mentioned that the Singapore part, the grant part, CPO part. So I have research on the Singapore also. That is a EFS, the venture debt grants, as well as the SG Tech grant also. So for that also, I wanted to have more question, and as well as we are also targeting for the venture capitalists too. That what are the venture capitalists, the quality to. So I have asked the question in Google form also. What are the venture capitalists thinking about what they want to invest and how they want to invest, and what are the exit parameters they want to decide for that purpose. So these are the long question list. Sorry for that.
Okay, actually not long, it's too long. Yes, please, Shiksha ma'am, please.
So you wanted to understand how AIFs work basically and
Yes.
how VCs are making decisions, right?
Yes.
So AIFs has a very different way of working basically. So we have a pool of investors with a small ticket size of around 5 lakhs, 2 lakhs, 10 lakhs, depending on which sort of investor we are targeting. We try to train them. We have a different sessions wherein we try to train them that how much reward, how much return you will get from the investments and everything, and then we onboard them on our platform basically. So IIF is a small pool of investors, small ticket size pool of investors, and in overall they make a larger corpus. So for example, we are also an AIF. We are a SEBI registered AIF, and we have made a corpus of around 300 crores
300 plus
so far. Yes. So that's how AIFs are working, wherein we are bringing small angels in the single pool on a smaller pool, and then we are making a larger chunk of money in that, and then we are investing in the startups basically.
Sorry, ma'am.
Obviously,
I just want to add some few questions. So can I?
yeah, please.
Yeah, so basically what I'm targeting right now, what AI is seeing that you're definitely said that you're looking for small ticket size and for shorter tenure, because what I have read about AI is that they invest from only 5 to 6 years. Here the case is that they are investing up to 10 to 15 years, and the management fee is 2% for this they are charging about right now AIs. So what I'm trying to understand that what are the IRR target? So internal rate of return. So supposedly if AIF is giving the fund, so what returns they are targeting for that purpose, and how they are distributed tranches are the scheme
See,
of
normally also depends on how much return you are also telling them. So, for example, if you have told them that at least you will get maximum of 2x or 3x of return, we do
Okay.
expect that much of return from the company definitely. But not only that, we are also trying to help you further with the see, basically we are also concerned with our return, so we would be connecting you with different other investors as well, so that you grow your business further, and then we see that we are getting more return than expected, which was even assigned at an earlier stage. But yeah, we do expect a higher return in that term, at least 4 to 5 or 7x 10x ka return from the company while we are investing in the company. So
and the
it's a
tenure.
very tenure. It totally depends on company to company, honestly, because it totally depends on terms and conditions which we are making with the company, and then only we make a decision on how big the tenure would be, right? So all the agreements and everything is being done after we sign the SSHA agreement, and in that only all the term sheet में ही सारा चीज लिखा होता है कि how long things would work. दोनों parties equally allow the same, and then we sign the agreement.
And Sanchit, let me add one point. I guess you also asking that how this RDIF and other projects, how much they looking the IRR as well as the exit strategy. See, I'll give you an example for two companies. First is RF Nano Tech. It's a IIT Kanpur based company. What this company did that they prepared a stealth technology for our upcoming MCA, right? So for your question, how much return they are expecting? They are expecting almost more than 50 times in the startups.
So 50x returns they are expecting money on multiple.
Exactly. Government, because if you are in the defense tech, if you are in the deep tech, or if you are in the quantum related things, now, because one more company is there of the IIT Kanpur. I know personally these companies. This RF Nano, Mr. Vishal Chakravarti is there, Dr. Vishal Chakravarti.
Yeah,
he prepared this, and he's personally in touch with the army chief for this RF technology, right? Secondly, the company name is Big Bang Boom. This company prepare Big Bang Boom. Big Bang Boom. It's a Chennai-based company incubated in the IIT Kanpur. They received an order from army for 200 crores, right? And it's just a startup. So see, if you have your product, so let me ask this, Sanchit. You have your prototype, or it's an MVP? What exactly is your stage for the product?
So basically, we have done our lab testing and all. We have our product on live also. We have some project delivered to. We have delivered last year. We have delivered 2 to 3 projects also, and delivered 2 product too. And we are targeting right now feasibility up to 7 products till this year end. And we are also targeting towards, because the reason for which we are expanding is right now we are not only targeting only the linear asset management, we are targeting to more towards the also the dashcam part. So what our dashcam part we're developing that. Basically, what happened when the fog is there on the northeastern part, when there is a heavy rain is there, so we can see the further part of the vehicle. So for that purpose, we are developing the dashcam, which not only decide the 2D part and get the 3D dimension also
Right,
expect.
Sorry, Sanchit, we are running out of time now. So, Shiksha ma'am, I recommend that what Sanchit product is that of course they have a very good product and the vision. So I think so. Let me directly connect Sanchit with you. So
Sure,
you
sure.
just please help if you are.
Yeah.
How much you raising,
Yeah,
Sanchit?
Pardon, sir?
How much you raising?
So we are currently right now we are asking for $2.5 million. So it is
2.5.
we are a startup ecosystem which we are my seniors also, my MDs also there with me. So we are connecting with them. So we are raising $2.5 million. We are pitching towards most of the Singapore investor right now, because the headquarters as well as we develop product in India, but our headquarters is in Singapore. So for that purpose, we are expecting toward both Indian and Singapore investors. So as soon as we can get any deal or any good grant for that purpose, we can further go for that. So for that,
so you incubated anywhere?
no, sir, I'm not incubated anywhere. I'm just there for working in the company with them and starting with them.
Okay. So first, I think so. Then Shiksha ma'am, you just please assist them. That
Sure,
first of
sure.
all, of course, for any startup, incubation is very important, right
Okay.
now. Because if
Yeah.
you want to receive any grant, if you want to raise any funds from VC or any angel investor, then of course, maybe it's IIT Kanpur, maybe it's IIM Lucknow or IIT Madras. So it depends. But yes, incubation is must. Because
Okay,
many
so you
startups
are
I
asking for
saw.
DPIIT
Sorry.
certification, right, sir? You're
Yeah,
asking for
DPIT is
DPIIT. Yeah. So
See,
DPIIT.
you need, first of all, you need a professional, those who can assist you. You have product, right?
Yes.
Product is not enough until or unless you have a good connections on the documents.
Okay.
Please try to understand this, right? VCs, let's say you are ready and you are going with the VC, right? Without any documents. No VC will invest without any documents. Because VCs also verify and vet all the documents.
Okay.
From your pitch deck till your cash flow statements. If it's in a very initial state, then of course they ask for projections. What is your 5 years projection? What is your 10-year projections?
Yeah,
Right?
and even on the ask part, means obviously we can talk on this, but I feel the ask is very steep in here. So means obviously we'll get on conversation on this, how we can actually work on it.
ma'am.
But
So
we
we
good
can
to
get
know that you're talking with investors. That's really nice. But we can talk on how we can actually streamline this thing.
Yeah. So, ma'am, can you get me guidance? So, if we can have a call. So sorry, sir, I'm asking
Sure.
too much for it.
Of course. No worries, Sanjit. We are here to help, and definitely Shiksha ma'am will definitely call you after the session. Right?
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
share
Yeah,
the
yeah,
number.
Anytime you are
And,
free, ma'am, you can definitely mail me and I can revert you back on that. We
Arre,
can have a
not to
call.
worry.
Sure.
No,
I'll do
no
that.
problem. We'll definitely here to help. Right? Not to
Yeah.
worry.
Yeah.
Right? If you need any advice or anything, now we are
Yeah.
always open. Right? Not to worry. All right. So Shiksha ma'am, just quickly let's take the last question.
Sure.
From Rishabh Aswal. Rishabh, if you can please, and please यार थोड़ा सा short ही रखना उसको. Rishabh.
Sorry,
Yes,
sir,
sir.
for
Good
the
afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
So, ma'am, my question to you is, when you are raising money for startup, so if let's say startup is having a basically heavy losses, and the company is growing very fast, and there is another startup that has very slower growth but is profitable. So, which is more lucrative to you to invest in?
Obviously, the second one. It's quite clear from the question itself. Like, obviously, we'll look for the second option because most of us are concerned with profit only. Okay. Obviously,
Yes,
startups
but
should be also concerned with profit, but both the same. It's from both the end, right? It's a partnership basically. So both of us would be equally concerned with how much profit we are getting.
Basically, if second startup has basically less opportunity in future, so growth X multiple is less. But the first company that we are seeing have loss making, but it can grow at much higher pace in future. So that was my
No,
question,
but
I guess.
I understood, but it's like we go more on trust basis because it's wherever money is involved. No, it's more on trust than the promises which we are making. So I would again say the same thing, that it's mostly on the growth which we would want, mostly the profit which we would want to see rather than the promise for the time being. This industry works like that. Yeah. It's so Veer sir knows this very well.
That's why I'm smiling. That कि it depends on कि VC का mood कैसा है, right ना? They might cause I understand why Rishabh is asking that कि you already seen कि कई companies है, they are still in losses but still they manage to raise funds. The
बट वो
biggest
तो
example
इनिशियल
is Zomato.
स्टेज पे आपको बोला गया है सर.
Correct.
सो
Correct. In many cases, I have seen that what the fundraiser think कि वो शेव करा के नहीं आया. I'm not giving you my example कि उसने शेव नहीं कराई थी. That's we are not funding, right? So it's not like that, but of course it depends on कि वो किस prospect के हिसाब से देख रहे हैं for the company. Growth prospect है, because of course growth is one of thing. They also looking for some different aspects when they invest in the
yeah,
some
means
new
there
startup.
are the very like it's a very question. It's a question wherein we cannot answer in a single go. We have to do a very deep research on the company while we are making a decision of investing in any company, because I am answerable for multiple other people then, because I am taking their money and putting it somewhere, right? So it's not only a single thing to decide कि I'm gonna invest in a company.
Yes, ma'am. Basically, ma'am, if you see the company, the startups as Zomato, Swiggy, there's one
I
startup
get
called
it.
Cred.
अब यार फ्यूचर का किसी को नहीं पता होता, ऑब्वियस की बात है कि नहीं पता होता कि कौन सी कंपनी कितने लॉसेस में जाएगी, ठीक है. बट इनिशियल स्टेज पे जब आपको लग रहा होता है कि सारे नंबर सारे मेट्रिक्स मैच कर रहे हैं एज पर द ग्रोथ पर्सपेक्टिव विच वी आर थिंकिंग, तो वी डू इन्वेस्ट. अब रिस्क तो कहीं पे भी है, कहीं पे भी यू हैव टू टेक अ 1% ऑफ चांस जहाँ पर रिस्क हो, बट अल्टीमेटली इज टू अर्न प्रॉफिट फ्रॉम बोथ द एंड्स.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Rishabh, for asking. Any closing note, ma'am, Shiksha, ma'am? I guess we already.
Sure. So I guess I would. I feel all of you are at a very early stage. I am assuming. So I wish you all the very best. Try to. My last note would be only this, that because I have learned from my experience, so I can share that only with you, that try to gain a lot and lot of experience. Try to do lot and lot of networking with people. Try to know other businesses. Try to understand from the failures and successes of and stories of the startups which has already succeeded and become a unicorn in India. Try to understand from them. And if you want any sort of a help from me, I'm already there. I'm connected with Subir, so you can actually get in touch with me anytime, whenever you want. We do help in documentations. We do help in further taking you around for investment, for grant support, for any other support, any networking thing which you want from me. I'm already there. You can get in touch with me anytime from here on.
All right. Thank you so much, Shiksha, ma'am, for your time and for the great insight about this industry. And Sanchit, I have shared in message chat now the form. If you can please fill, so Shiksha, ma'am, definitely get in touch with you and help you with the raising funds.
Sure, sir. I'm feeling that now.
Right? Yeah, please. Thank you so much. And all right, ma'am. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
For
Thank you
your
so much,
precious
sir.
time on this Saturday. So thank you so much.
Thank you all of you for making this session wonderful, and wish you all the best, all of you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you all. Thank you all for your time.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.